What's up guys, I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Thanks for coming back for yet another week. Today's video, we're going to be talking more basics. To be more specific, we're going to be talking all about the basics of mowing. Mowing is one of the most important things we do to a lawn each year. In fact, that's why we have to do it every so often. It probably goes without saying, if we didn't have mowing, lawn care wouldn't be a thing. The primary reason I'm making this video today is to talk to those of you guys who are first-time homeowners, and also for those of you long-time followers, it's a good idea to review things you know, specifically the basics. A lot of you guys who are watching are looking into buying your first homeowner mower. The biggest issue a lot of you guys are having is you don't know what to look for in a mower. With that, let's go to it. To eliminate the confusion, there's two things you should look for in a mower. Number one is deep deck, and number two is the power. To eliminate the confusion from the first part of that question, buy the one with the deepest deck. The reason you want the deepest deck is because when you cut the lawn, you want there to be enough room under the deck for the clippings to stay under there a little bit longer so they can get ground up into smaller bits. That's why on most mowers that are mulching mowers, you're going to see these little wings that they have on the opposite ends of the blades. That's to ground up the clippings into smaller bits before they fall back down into the lawn. And also, to add to that, when you're looking for a mower, make sure that it is indeed a mulching mower. One of the biggest problems is that for those who buy mowers that might bag but doesn't mulch and they want to mulch, they're more likely going to increase the chances of severe thatch the following year because they're not breaking it down into smaller bits. The second part of that question is power. Power is very important with a mower. So what do we look for in power? Back in the old days, a lot of lawn care operators would tell us if you're gonna buy a regular push mower, make sure you buy one that is 5 horsepower or greater. But there's an issue with that nowadays. Lawnmower power is no longer measured in horsepower. Now it's measured in cc. Now we have to do a little bit of math. This is my mower here. This is a Toro recycler. A lot of you guys see this in all the videos. I've actually had this for a very long time. This mower is 190 cc's, and after doing a little bit of, after asking Google, came out to be 5.8 horsepower is equal to 190. This is enough power, it'll get the job done. The reason power is the most important thing is because if you don't have it, you're gonna end up with a really bad cut. Power is key to a clean cut. The more power you have, the faster that blade is spinning, which means it's able to cut a lot more fluently. Just to explain this concept to you, I actually have a blade right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the ground right now, and I'm going to try and spin it and show you guys the resistance. Okay, so see that? You guys probably get the point, right? It takes a lot of power just for the blade to fluently spin across the lawn. So if you buy a mower that's underpowered, you're going to have a lot of problems with that, and you're not going to get a clean cut. It's just going to rip the grass blades rather than cut them cleanly. Now that we have everything we need to ensure that we're always going to get a clean cut, it's very important that we maintain that clean cut. And the way we got to do that is by sharpening the blades. I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear it. I know a lot of you guys don't want to take the time and do it, but we all got to do it. If we don't sharpen the blade and we just let it dull out over time, what's going to happen is the blade's eventually going to dull up, and it's going to actually start ripping the grass blades and shearing them really bad, and it's going to have kind of this brownish cast to it. See this lawn here? See how it looks kind of brown? I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me step over here. Now you can probably see it. But see how it looks a little brown? Now this lawn has a bunch of other problems, but another problem that I'm seeing is actually on the tips of the blades, and I could see it from here, just how brown it looks. You see, that's what results from a dull mower blade. And as we get closer down here, just to prove it to you, what do we see? So no matter how good your mowing is, no matter how good your fertilizing is, it's always going to have this brownish cast to it. And the other problem with that is it's also going to make your lawn more susceptible to disease. It's kind of like a small cut on your skin. If you don't take care of it right away, bacteria is going to end up penetrating the skin barrier. It's the same with the lawn. When you cut the grass and you're shearing the blades like that, you're making them more susceptible to disease to literally penetrate through your lawn. Keep those blades sharp, my friends. As far as completing this simple of a task, we have a couple options options here. The first option would be to do it on your own, and you can do this in a couple different ways. You can either use a file, you can use an angle grinder, you can use a bench grinder. There's all sorts of different ways you can do it. If you're not willing to learn any of that, what I recommend you do is you take your blades into your local lawnmower shop and just get it sharpened there. Now keep in mind, you're not always going to be able to pick up your blade the day you bring it in. What I recommend you do is have an extra blade at the ready in case this happens, because say you have to mow today and you know your blade's not going to be done for another week. It's good to know that you have an extra blade so that you can be as patient as possible and your blade will get sharpened. When your old blade's all sharpened, you can go pick it up in a couple days. Now it's time to talk about mowing height. I recommend you mow 3.5 to 4 inches. So to simplify that explanation, all you really have to do is jack your mower all the way up to the tallest setting and leave it there. Set it and forget it. It's as simple as that. Now another thing you can do if you want to get a little bit more advanced is use a little bit of logic based on your grass type. Me, for example, I have perennial rye and Kentucky bluegrass, and as I mentioned in previous videos, they're not very rigid grass types, which means that if they're mowed tall, they're more susceptible to lay over if they're walked on. That can lead to fungus and all sorts of problems. So I'm probably going to go ahead and mow somewhere about right here. What I've done is I've just taken it down from 4 inches to 3.5 inches. However, if I have a very rigid grass type like tall fescue, I'm going to go ahead and jack it all the way up to the top because I know it's going to be more resilient to the foot traffic and that's going to benefit it that much more. The reason we want to mow tall is because what you're actually doing is you're shading the root zone, which allows the lawn to retain moisture and push deeper roots. The taller you're mowing, the more leaf blade surface you're leaving available to the sun, so more photosynthesis can happen, more roots can be sent down, and at the same time you're also retaining that moisture that you obtain through irrigation and rain. Another question I get a lot when it comes to mowing is, should I mulch or bag the clippings? It's a big debate, we all talk about it. If you were to ask me, I recommend you mulch 24/7 if you can. The reason being, mulching is natural fertilizer. I know a lot of you guys are going to watch this video and go, whatever dude, I don't believe that. But it's seriously a true concept. When you mulch, you're returning nitrogen back into the lawn that you've implemented earlier in the season. When you cut your grass, when you cut the leaf blade surface off and you mulch it back into the ground, what you're actually doing is you're returning your fertilizer. It's in a different form because it's actually been utilized and taken up through the plant. But what you're doing is you're recycling that and putting it back into the lawn so that the lawn can further utilize it. It's free fertilizer. I don't care what anybody says. I stand by that rule. You should too. And that's why I don't recommend you bag, because when you bag, you're taking away all that fertilizer. It's kind of like farmers. When they go to harvest their hay crop, they're actually removing nitrogen that they implemented to make the hay grow. Make sense? Lastly, I can't harp this any stronger. Make sure that you mow very often. Basic rule in lawn care has always been that you do not want to remove more than 1/3 of the grass blade's length in a single mow. And I stand by that rule 100%. Even a little bit less if you can. That's going to be about every 3 or 4 days that you're going to have to mow. Me, I've been mowing my lawn every 2 days, and you can see it really looks good. Everything's on an even playing field, and I'm literally removing just the tips. That's why, as you see in this clip here, my lawn always looks green because I'm not removing that much leaf blade surface, and I'm not letting my lawn get accustomed to growing that much taller. If you want to dominate, mow often, remove just the tips, and you'll be dominating. That's all I have for you guys today on the fundamentals to mowing. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe to the channel where I give you tips on how you can get your lawn looking just as good as this. With that, I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Wow, blown away by the edging.